What's good, gamers? Aklon here, and of course, welcome back to each and every one of you. I am so sorry that this video took this long to make. I've been without water for about 2 days now, and I decided not to shoot the video because I was looking like a bloody hobo. It's tough. It was a whole thing with massive pipe that burst that literally blew a hole in the road. It was like, yeah, there was no water. It was a nightmare. The water just came back on. So I had a shower, quick shower, and here we go. Before I go to the gym, by the way, I promised that I will do this cinematic analysis 2 days ago. I'm going to do it now. Okay, so calm down. Calm down. We're going to get into it now. Let's go. All right, so first things first, I'm probably going to skip over this first bit. Most of you should know exactly what this is. It's literally just a run-up of every single expansion leading up to the War Within. And I think that there's something about this. I don't know if I should be spoiling it or if we should just watch and then we discuss it. Let me just do this, right? I like the fact that there's this callback, this how did we get here moment. Because if you think about it, the Titans, the Void, the Light, these forces have been with us since day one. They've been present since vanilla, and every single expansion had some elements of, you know, the Light, the Void, the Titans. So it's nice to see how we finally get here, and the lead up to it, and the callback, of course, is a little bit nice. So let's enjoy the run up to where things really peak.
In darkness, she slumbers.
There's an interesting thing about that. In darkness, she slumbers. So there's been some thoughts and some discussions about whether or not Azeroth is indeed asleep, whether or not Azeroth is indeed a Titan. You know, we've sort of been going back and forth, not entirely sure about that story. Now, Xal'atath confirms that in darkness, she slumbers. So, Azeroth is indeed still asleep. Why? We don't actually know. And this is the thing that drives me most nuts about this narrative that she is asleep, is the fact that she has spoken to us, apparently. Apparently, she is showing us visions now, although, again, I will highlight apparently, because the visions, the Radiant Song, remember, they received the visions in the Radiant Song from the Arathians, the Arathians that is currently inside the War Within, right? Inside the cave systems. I think it's Hallowfell, where they're looking up at the, or is it Khazalgar? I don't know. I can't remember the exact zone name. But they're the ones guarding that crystal. And their emperor saw visions long before our visions even started that seemed to correlate with the visions that we received. And their emperor, according to them, received the visions from that crystal. So clearly it's not Azeroth that's speaking to us, which suggests Azeroth may never have been speaking to us. But I've made a video about that. I've already discussed it, so I'm not going to keep going with that.
And dreams.
And dreams. And dreams. It's like they wanted to slip that past us. But I don't think we should just brush over it that quickly. The and dreams bit is, oh man, it calls back to theories that we've had for a very long time. Now, it's no surprise, or it should not be a secret to anyone, that World of Warcraft, or Blizzard rather, borrowed very heavily from H.P. Lovecraft when they came up with World of Warcraft, specifically when it came to the Void, but then also Azeroth. Why? Because in H.P. Lovecraft's universe, the main dude, the big kahunas, the big boss, is called Azeroth. And Azeroth lies at the center of the galaxy, and he dreams, quite literally, reality, right? That's the thing that he does, and he's kept asleep by all of these demons just constantly singing and making music around him, because should he wake up, everything will cease to exist. Now, my theory, and I can't even say go watch that video, because it's like almost 3 years ago. So I'll just share it here again. My theory is that Azeroth is indeed sleeping, but as you guys know, I believe that Azeroth is one of the first ones. I don't believe that Azeroth is a Titan like the Titans. I believe Azeroth is a first one, and not like the first ones that you saw in the Shadowlands. No. They are not the first ones. They are actually imposters who created the Titans and created all of these cosmological Xal'atath realms and is pushing into the actual first ones, which is Azeroth. And the dream, the Emerald Dream, you know, the one that the Chronicles, the Titans, by the way, wrote that, the one that is basically created by 4 or 5 different people. Elune is present in almost all of them. ANR is present in some of them. Some of them is actually not ANR, but the ones that ANR... It's a whole mess, because the Titans themselves don't seem to know exactly how the Emerald Dream came into existence. My belief is that the Emerald Dream is quite literally dreamt by Azeroth. It is her dream, and from her dream, reality stems. And I believe that the Emerald Dream is connected throughout the whole of the cosmos. And this creates, this gives Azeroth the ability to basically dream life into our universe. Azeroth is where anima comes from. Without Azeroth, there is no anima, there is no soul, there is no real life. So this is Azeroth's main task. This might actually also have something to do with the world trees and why Amanthul ripped one of the world trees out of the planet and why he's so anti-world trees. It may also explain why Sylvanas had to destroy the world tree. The world trees is what connects Azeroth or strengthens Azeroth's connection to the dream. Or perhaps the world tree strengthens someone else's connection to the dream. In other words, Azeroth is the dream is Azeroth. But what if you were Elune and you really wanted to gain access to this place of wonder, this place of power? Well, then you gift trees, as in the example with Aenar. The tree that she planted came from Elune. It was ripped out by Amanthul, and Elune actually cried over this tree and the death of this tree, and the roots are now still very much present. So clearly, these trees are meant very specifically to connect to the stream. The why may actually just elude us for now.
And for countless generations, mortal heroes have risen to defend her.
Now, I think it's fair to say that it is Xal'atath speaking here, right? Xal'atath is the one that is speaking. Xal'atath is the one that is narrating throughout the whole of this. And it's important to understand, mortal heroes. In other words, I can't stress this enough. Xal'atath does not speak as someone that wants to kill us. She does not speak as someone that hates us. In the previous cinematic, we heard Xal'atath say, all that is left will be your fury. Okay? Now, it's very important to understand what Xal'atath actually means when she says all that is left will be your fury. It comes as a build-up of a number of things. First, we had Iridikron. Iridikron told Chromie that when you are in danger, when you are burning in the flames of my brother's wrath, they will not come. The Titans couldn't give 2 shits about you. The only time the Titans will show up is when Azeroth herself is threatened. Otherwise, you can go kick bricks. They don't care. Amanthul is busy making fun of Sargeras. That's just how it goes there, right? So that's Iridikron's first thing. Then we have the Old Gods. The Old Gods consistently testing us, trying to figure out what are our limits? How strong can we actually become? And now you have Xal'atath saying, when all of your false gods, so she points to the light, basically as this false god, you know, the Church of the Light, all of the beliefs and the belief systems that we have on Azeroth. The cinematic shows Thrall. Why does it show Thrall? I'm not talking about this one, I'm talking about the previous cinematic. It shows Thrall, and now Thrall can't really get the elements to answer him. All of these are, according to her, empty beliefs. They're based in nothing. And we're going to figure that out. In this next expansion, we're going to learn that everything that we believe, everything that we've come to trust, the spirits, the demigods of nature, the lower, the light, life, All of these things are ultimately lies. They're empty. And then, when all of that has been stripped away, when we finally look at the world and realize that we've been lied to, all we'll have left is our fury. And what's important, and this is again where you have this build-up, right? This entire build-up of everything. Our fury, since the very beginning of Azeroth, we have been fighting and we have been killing each other. The Horde and the Alliance are many things, but angry is the most important thing. They're angrier more than anyone else, constantly fighting, and it's that fury that Xal'atath then says, will be mine. Not my enemy. I'm not here to fight you. I don't want to kill you. I want to harness you. I want to use that anger, and I want to make it mine.
He faced monsters, tyrants, and beasts of primordial horror. Though they fought amongst themselves, their enmity following them to the most distant shores.
We will never be slaves!
And even across time and space.
Notice how the constant focus is on war, on battle, on the fact that this is what we do, right? We fight constantly. It's that build-up, but also they could have chosen so many different things from past expansions. Now you would say, but Akalon, they're just using the cinematics from past expansions. Yeah, but they didn't have to. They could have shown the peaceful moments. They could have shown the moments of love and joy and laughter, but they didn't. They chose the war moments, the moments that led to this, the moments that has shaped us into the quote-unquote killing machines that we have become.
Their courage never faltered. Even upon the very threshold of death. While new hope blooms on...
I love this. Okay, so it actually tells us what just happened there. Remember, we had questions about this, like why did the Dragon Isles just open up? And I love that Blizzard is doing sort of like a quick callback here. The use of this, everything stops, right? So Shadowlands, boom, everything comes to a stop. And then we have, whoop, Azeroth. We see a pulse from Azeroth. We see the planet, there's a pulse now. Remember, we've seen a sort of progression throughout this cinematic. It started with a very faint light, with just, you know, almost the blurriest and blurriest, faintest of lights. And then as we get to Dragonflight, finally we see this ball of fire, burning, whatever you could call it, right? And now it's pulsing. And then we get into Dragonflight, showing that there was an awakening, or at least a renewal within Azeroth, and that's what opened the Dragon Isles so that we can get there.
While new hope blooms on the horizon,
Yeah.
the final battle draws near.
And this is where we get to... Remember what I said at the beginning? Am I going to get into it? Am I not going to get into it? I'm now going to get into it. I think I understand where the final battle is, and I think I understand what the final battle ultimately is. And for this, we have to go sort of outside of the lore and more towards writing. In writing, there's at least in layman terms, there's a thing that most of us, when you read a book or a series, or you watch a movie or a series, what you find is at some point, that series just becomes less good. A great example of this, at least for me, would be Supernatural Season 6. Supernatural Season 1 to 5, arguably best TV that you could ever watch. Then in Season 6, it wasn't that Season 6 was necessarily bad, it was just that, in layman's terms, the magic was lost. You know, now we had seen everything, it was sort of the end of an era. Everything had sort of played itself out multiple times over. So it was just a little bit of a letdown. The magic was gone. Now, Supernatural managed to get it back after a while, but I feel like this is perhaps where Blizzard is now. They feel like the magic is soon going to be gone. When you think about all of these expansions that we just saw, every single one of these expansions have dealt with Titans, Void Lords or Old Gods, the Light, and the Twisting Nether, right? That's been our basic, so we say, cadence of content. And then, of course, death being thrown into that as well. But we've defeated death. We've defeated the Burning Legion. And for the most part, we don't have many, shall we say, enemies left on Azeroth. Now, we could certainly invent new enemies. We have life that we've never seen before, not in terms of who guides it. And, of course, we have the Void still. They're not quite defeated yet. We've defeated the Old Gods, but the Void is still around. And we've never defeated the Titans. So the last 3 sources of power that is left on Azeroth is coming to a head in this expansion. We're going to fight the Titans at least in one way or another, because we know that the final expansion is called The Last Titan. So there's going to be some kind of facing off against the Titans. Either the Titans are killed by Eridicron and the Void, and therefore there is only one Titan left, or we fight the Titans, or maybe it isn't that at all. We genuinely can't know. But then also we know that the Light is going to feature very, very heavily in this expansion. We've already seen the armies of the Light and how they're showing up. We already know that there's some big stuff on the horizon for the Light. The second expansion being called Midnight, as far as I'm concerned, how is the Light not going to show up? Right? Of course it's going to. As the Void gets closer and closer to its victory, and I think that's what Midnight is, Xal'atath wins at the end of the War Within. She takes an ethereal victory, or a etheric victory rather, and she goes into Midnight, and now the Light shows up because the Light will never allow the Void to get one up on them, right? So now we have the Light and the Void. We're probably going to have to sort out both of those just in order to get to the Last Titan. So when Xal'atath says you're the final battle, I genuinely believe that that's exactly what's going on. This expansion, these 3 expansions that is coming, this saga, is the last battle. It is the last battle between us and the known entities of our world. Remember, the cosmological map, when you zoom out, is only a small part of a much larger story. And I think that Blizzard is going to start taking us into this much larger story. We're maybe going to learn that there are far greater threats out in the great beyond. Now, before you go, we don't want to deal with cosmological stuff. Hey, there are plenty of great ways to deal with cosmological stuff. You don't have to just look at Shadowlands and be like, no. You don't have to do that. We could get good cosmological stories. But fundamentally, I think Blizzard is at a point where they're feeling like there isn't much left for them to explore without just refreshing and rehashing the same stuff over and over again. So this is them finishing with those things so that we can get equilibrium in our galaxy and our universe, and then maybe expand to other things. I just love how you see Azeroth, she's now awake, and then you just see the Void sort of circling in, coming in hot. That is so cool. It is so cool. Again, it is symbolic of where we're going. The Void is finally coming for Azeroth. I should say here, this is if that is Azeroth. Remember what I said? The visions do not come from Azeroth. It doesn't seem like it does. That could be what's inside the crystal. Not Azeroth, but something far greater. All of this could actually be what Xal'atath is referring to. When Xal'atath says, in the darkness, she slumbers. Might not be Azeroth. It might actually be whatever is inside that crystal. That is what Xal'atath is after. That is what the Void is hunting currently. Might not be Azeroth.
In the darkness, at the very heart of the world, The drums of war
This is, by the way, probably one of the coolest shots in this entire cinematic. She looks absolute boss mode, right? And I love the fact that you have, I believe this is half orc, half elven. I'm not entirely sure. I've tried to steer clear of most of the spoilers, only really focusing on, you know, the ones that I feel is absolutely pertinent for me to know so that I can do lore and speculation and stuff. So I remember reading about this sort of shortly, but I didn't go into too much detail about this. But I believe she's half orc, half elf. You can definitely see on the ears, there's elven blood in there. But yeah, just a super cool shot. And again, just indicative of everything that is to come.
thunder once again.
And I believe that this, by the way, shows us our enemies. You have the Earthen Titans. Not that the Earthen will be our enemy, but the Earthen was very much created by the Titans. You have the this lady, Light, right? The Light may be an enemy, and now you have the Void. What is also important to understand, these, by the way, I need to know this story. These are the roots that I spoke about earlier from the world tree that was ripped out. These beings arrived on Azeroth purely to defend and protect this tree. That's it. That's their only reason for ever being here. So it is going to be nuts when we finally get into it.
And Azeroth, at last, awakens.
Oh, there we go. So she believes that Azeroth will be awakened. She believes that Azeroth will wake up, which may lead into my theory that the Lost Titan is literally Azeroth waking up. That's what it refers to. Now, that would throw everything that I said earlier in this video completely out of the water, because it could mean that the Lost Titan doesn't refer to the Lost Titan. In other words, there are no other Titans left, but rather the Lost Titan to wake up, right? So it could be a play on words there, although I still don't like the idea of us fighting Xal'atath, purely because she has not once here expressed that we are her enemies in any way, shape, or form. Not once has she expressed any interest in attacking us or destroying us. Rather, she wishes for us to join her if, you know, you read the story correctly. And there, I just want to point out that there is another option here, a third one that could actually be very juicy, and that is that Xal'atath herself does not serve the Void Lords. So she is the herald of the Void, but she doesn't serve the Void Lords. So much like Illyria, Xal'atath uses the Void, but not in service of it.
The world's soul, so long denied me,
Cool shot.
shall be mine.
Very interesting wordplay, though. Very interesting thing that she says there. The world soul so long denied me. So long denied me. Suggesting that Xal'atath's role on Azeroth from the beginning was to conquer the world soul. Was to get the world soul. So Xal'atath wasn't just an accident. She didn't accidentally become the Herald of the Void. Xal'atath was always the Herald of the Void. That was the reason she came to Azeroth. It's always important to focus on these on the logos, because Blizzard always give a lot of things away in this logo. This is Azeroth. Look at those cracks. Is this what will happen when Azeroth finally awakens? Is this what Blizzard is up to at the moment? Because if you look at it, just pay attention.
Mine.
Look at how it starts, and then it rips apart. Cracked. Now, I will do this because, you know, everyone was very, very upset with me for skipping this part in my react. So there you go. I've seen it now. The game launching around about the time that we literally thought that it was going to launch. Oh my, I can't believe it. Say it ain't so. I don't know why people got so angry with me for not watching the reveal. I already knew what the reveal date was, and I didn't think that that was worthy of react. I do lore. I don't give a shit about when the game launches, because we kind of speculated that this was exactly when it was going to launch. Not the exact day and time, but we knew that it was probably going to be August, September, most likely. I even said at the most I can see October, but then we're going to start running into what the hell do we do, in the rest of World of Warcraft if, we're going to be waiting to October for the game to finally come out. So this wasn't a big surprise to me, but I get that some people really were excited to see, I guess, me react to it. My reaction to it was this. And then I moved on because, yeah, like I said, we kind of speculated that it would be around about August, September. So, yeah, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Remember to like if you like, dislike if you didn't. And then, of course, to all of the patrons, $1 a month helps keeps this channel free from sponsorships that want to sell you shit that you do not need. And then, of course, I haven't officially announced this yet, but I will be announcing it. If you become part of the $5 club, there will be giveaways. There will be a certain... I'll explain it on Patreon when I'm ready to announce it. But yeah, we're going to be doing some stuff there. So go support me. Links in the description down below. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, be kind to each other, be good to each other. And I will see all of you in the next one. Peace.